Hello, good morning, everyone. Today, today we're going to start with week six. I already done two assignments, so I have to complete assignments more, and I finished the week six. I think this it has been a long time wasting or spending in that week. But I hope it could be faster if I if if I tried better. So okay, today we're going to start with Pomodoro technique. So the counter is set up, and then we are going to okay. Let's see, and yeah. Okay, got it. So I'm fixing this. Okay, better. I think it's better. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna to open Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is the program where I code my assignments, and then I upload I load my code, my assignment code in this in this um, in this page. Okay, how can I enter in this page? I'm gonna to explain that. So look at this, please. Look at this. This is okay. I'm gonna go to menu, week six. Okay, week six because I on week six, and I'm gonna to go to problem set 6. If I click on this link and I go to the page, to the window, to the emergent window, uh, where is that? Uh, problem 66. Mm, yeah, this is problem set 6. Yeah, I already code these lines of code, pizza pie, and I have to complete Scourgify. Scourgify. I'm gonna to click in Scourgify. Scourgify is this. Okay, this is name in house. So this is kind of um, database. Okay, so I have to first I have to read what's the thing that I have to do. Okay, data too often needs to be clean as be reformatting it, so that values are in a consistent, if not more convenient format. Consider, for instance, the CSV file of students before CSV below. Got it. So we're gonna to uh, we have to take this CSV file. Okay. Even though each row, this is a row, like about Hannah Hufflepuff. This is a row, no? Even though each row in the file has three values, yeah, one, two, three values, last name, first name, and house, the first two are combined into one column, name. Escape with W quotes. Yes, okay. Escape with W quotes. With last name and first name separated by a comma and a space. Okay, comma and space. Yeah, comma and space separate the first name and the second name. Oh my God, I have to looking for my charger. Please bear with me. I'm gonna to go. So okay, thank you so much. I I came back. Yes, I'm here. Well, I was talking about I was talking I was talking about this feature. Hello, hello YouTube, hello YouTuber. Yeah, I was talking about this. So gonna do this more big. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is my this is my database, and okay. So okay, the first two are combined into one column name. Yes, the first two are combined into one column name. And house. Okay, with the last name and first name separated by a command space. Not ideal if Hogwarts wants to send a form letter to each student as via mail merge, since it'd be strange to start letter with Dear Potter Harry. Yeah, Dear Harry Potter is better. Yeah. In a file called Scoreify, implement a program that expects the user to provide two command line arguments. Okay, the name of an existing CSV file to read as an input whose columns are assumed to be in order, name and house, and the name of a new CSV to write. Okay, I have to complete I have to code a program, yeah, and this program expects the user to provide two command lines arguments. Okay, the name on existing CSV file to read as input whose columns are assumed to be in order, name and house. The name of new CSV to write as an output. The name of a new CSV to write as an output, whose columns should be in order first, last, and house. Okay, first, last, and house. Converts that input to output, splitting each name into first name, last name. Assume that each student will have both at first name and last name. If the user does not provide exactly two command lines arguments, or if the first cannot be read, the program should exit via sys exits with an error message. Hence, so I think I got it. So too few command lines. If there is no, if there is no a command, an argument, and too few command lines. One CSV, too few command lines. One CSV, two CSV, and three CSV. Too many command lines. So I have to put two arguments. And the argument has to be one CSV and two CSV. It could not read one CSV. Okay, pipe to qualify before CSV and after CSV. Okay. Okay. So I think I understand, but almost there. I have to. Okay, I have to expect two command lines. The name of a new CSV to write as output, whose columns should be in order first, last, and house. Okay, so as an input, I have to put two. Uh, as an input whose columns are assumed to be in order name and house. The name of an existing CSV field read as input. Okay, MKD code. How to test? Too few command lines, too many command lines. Okay. Okay. Run your program with Python. Assuming before CSV exists, your program should create a new field after CSV. Okay, I got it. Got it. So I have to do this. Look at this. I have to do this. Look. Okay, I have to do this. Pa-pa. Okay, look at this. I would like to. I would like to see this better. Uh, Maybe if I put this. Maybe if I file section view, output, testing, search, explorer, output, program word, extensions, full screen, send mode, move, from right to the pan, motor panel. Okay, view, appearance, uh, zoom out, control in. Okay, okay, it's it's quite better, I have to say. But oh, pretty better, of course, pretty better. Yeah, it's pretty better. Okay, got it. I would like to watch a lot of videos about this, but okay. From peel, import image filter, image ops, lane, file size, file format, file rotate, peel. Okay, peel. Okay, this is my code. I don't understand. I think this is in order to in order to I already remember that this is in order to uh, change image and rotate image. So with the last file print save as output to GP. Okay. Okay. I would like to end complete. I would like to complete the whole video on Python on Harvard. So I'm gonna to looking for it. Okay. Thank you so much. 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 Keep it up. Okay, we're watching the whole video. This whole video has to be in this. Okay, so we're gonna to watch. Okay, file 666. Yeah.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out where every student should be from so that we could create this problem for us. And wonderfully, like the first sentence of the book is number 4 Privet Drive. And so the fact that that address has a comma in it is problematic. Why? Because you and I decided some time ago to standardize on commas, CSV, comma, separated values, to denote the we standardized on commas in order to delineate one value from another. And if we have commas grammatically in the student's home, we're clearly confusing it as this special symbol. And the split function is now, for just Harry, trying to split it into 3 values, not just 2. And that's why there's too many values to unpack, because we're only trying to assign 2 variables, name and house. Now, what could we do here? Well, we could just change our approach, for instance. Like, one paradigm that is not uncommon is to use something a little less common, like a vertical bar. So I could go in and change all of my commas to vertical bars. That too could eventually come back to bite us, in that if my file eventually has vertical bars somewhere, it might still break. So maybe that's not the best approach. I could maybe do something like this. I could escape the data, as I've done in the past, and maybe I could put quotes around any English string that itself contains a comma. And that's fine. I could do that. But then my code, students.py, is going to have to change too, because I can't just naively split on a comma now. I'm going to have to be smarter about it. I'm going to have to take into account split only on the commas that are not inside of quotes. And it's getting complicated fast. And at this point, you need to take a step back and consider, you know what, if we're having this problem, odds are many other people before us have had this same problem. It is incredibly common to store data in files. It is incredibly common to use CSV files specifically. And so you know what? Why don't we see if there's a library in Python that exists to read and or write CSV files? Rather than reinvent a wheel, so to speak, let's see if we can write better code by standing on the shoulders of others who have come before us, programmers past, and actually use their code to do the reading and writing of CSVs, so we can focus on the part of our problem that you and I care about. So let's propose that we go back to our code here and see how we might use the CSV library. Indeed, within Python, there is a module called CSV. The documentation for it is at this URL here in Python's official documentation. But there's a few functions that are pretty readily accessible if we just dive right in. And let me propose that we do this. Let me go back to my code here. And instead of reinventing this wheel and reading the file line by line and splitting on commas and dealing now with quotes and privet drives and so forth, let's do this instead. At the start of my program, let me go up and import the CSV module. Let's use this library that someone else has written that's dealing with all of these corner cases, if you will. I'm still going to give myself a list, initially empty, in which to store all these students. But I'm going to change my approach here now just a little bit. When I open this file with with, let me go in here and change this a little bit. I'm going to go in here now and say this. Reader equals csv.reader, passing in file as input. So it turns out, if you read the documentation for the CSV module, it comes with a function called reader, whose purpose in life is to read a CSV file for you and figure out where are the commas, where are the quotes, where are all the potential corner cases, and just deal with them for you. You can override certain defaults or assumptions in case you're using not a comma, but a pipe or something else. But by default, I think it's just going to work. Now, how do I iterate over a reader and not the raw file itself? It's almost the same. The library allows you still to do this. For each row in the reader. So you're not iterating over the file directly now. You're iterating over the reader, which is, again, going to handle all of the parsing of commas and new lines and more. For each row in the reader, what am I going to do? Well, at the moment, I'm going to do this. I'm going to append to my students list the following dictionary. A dictionary that has a name whose value is the current row's first column, and whose house, or rather home now, is the row's second column. Now, it's worth noting that the reader for each line in the file indeed returns to me a row, but it returns to me a row that's a list, which is to say that the first element of that list is going to be the student's name, as before. The second element of that list is going to be the student's home, as now before. But if I want to access each of those elements, remember that lists are 0 indexed. We start counting at 0 and then 1 rather than 1 and then 2. So if I want to get at the student's name, I use row bracket 0. And if I want to get at the student's home, I use row bracket 1. But in my for loop, we can do that same unpacking as before. If I know this CSV is only going to have 2 columns, I could even do this. For name home in reader, and now I don't need to use list notation. I can unpack things all at once and say name here and home here. The rest of my code can stay exactly the same, because what am I doing now on line 8? I'm still constructing the same dictionary as before, albeit for homes instead of houses. And I'm grabbing those values now not from the file itself and my use of split, but the reader. And again, what the reader is going to do is figure out where are those commas, where are the quotes, and just solve that problem for you. So let me go now down to my terminal window and run python of students.py and hit enter. And now we see successfully, sorted no less, that Draco is from Malform Manor, Harry is from number 4, comma, Privet Drive, and Ron is from the Borough. Questions now on this technique of using CSV reader from that CSV module, which again is just getting us out of the business of reading each line ourselves and reading each of those commas and splitting.
So my questions are related to something a bit in the past. I recognize that you are reading a file every time we're assuming that we have the CSV file to hand already in this case. Is it possible to make a file readable and writable? So in case, if you want, you could write some stuff to the file, but then at the same time you could have another function that reads through the file and does changes to it as you go along.
A really good question, and the short answer is yes. However, historically, the mental model for a file is that of a cassette tape. Years ago, not really in use anymore, but cassette tapes are sequential, whereby they start at the beginning, and if you want to get to the end, you kind of have to unwind the tape to get to that point. The closest analog nowadays would be something like Netflix or any streaming service where there's a scrubber that you have to go left to right. You can't just jump there or jump there. You don't have random access. So the problem with files, if you want to read and write them, you or some library needs to keep track of where you are in the file, so that if you're reading from the top and then you write at the bottom and you want to start reading again, you seek back to the beginning. So it's not something we'll do here in class. It's more involved, but it's absolutely doable. For our purposes, we'll generally recommend read the file, and then if you want to change it, write it back out rather than trying to make more piecemeal changes, which is good if, though, the file is massive and it would just be very expensive time-wise to change the whole thing. Other questions on this CSV reader?
Is possible to write a paragraph in that file?
Absolutely. Right now I'm writing very small strings, just names or houses as I did before, but you can absolutely write as much text as you want. Indeed. Other questions on CSV reader?
Can a user choose himself a key, like input key will be a name or home?
So short answer, yes. We could absolutely write a program that prompts the user for a name and a home, a name and a home, and we could write out those values. And in a moment, we'll see how you can write to a CSV file. For now, I'm assuming as the programmer who created students.csv that I know what the columns are going to be, and therefore I'm naming my variables accordingly. However, this is a good segue to one final feature of reading CSVs, which is that you don't have to rely on either getting a row as a list and using bracket 0 or bracket 1, and you don't have to unpack things manually in this way. We could actually be smarter and start storing the names of these columns in the CSV file itself. And in fact, if any of you have ever opened a spreadsheet file before, be it in Excel, Apple Numbers, Google Spreadsheets, or the like, odds are you've noticed that the first row very frequently is a little different. It actually is boldface sometimes, or it actually contains the names of those columns, the names of those attributes attributes below. And we can do this here. In students.csv, I don't have to just keep assuming that the student's name is first and that the student's home is second. I can explicitly bake that information into the file just to reduce the probability of mistakes down the road. I can literally use the first row of this file and say name, comma, home. So notice that name is not literally someone's name, and home is not literally someone's home. It is literally the words name and home separated by a comma. And if I now go back into students.py and don't use CSV Reader, but instead I use a dictionary reader, I can actually treat my CSV file even more flexibly, not just for this, but for other examples too. Let me do this. Instead of using a CSV reader, let me use a CSV dict reader, which will now iterate over the file, top to bottom, loading in each line of text not as a list of columns, but as a dictionary of columns. What's nice about this is that it's going to give me automatic access now to those columns' names. I'm going to revert to just saying for row in reader. And now I'm going to append a name and a home. But how am I going to get access to the current row's name and the current row's home? Well, earlier I used bracket 0 for the first and bracket 1 for the second when I was using a reader. A reader returns lists. A dict reader or dictionary reader returns dictionaries, one at a time. And so if I want to access the current row's name, I can say row quote unquote name. I can say here for home, row quote unquote home. And I now have access to those same values. The only change I had to make, to be clear, was in my CSV file, I had to include on the very first row little hints as to what these columns are. And if I now run this code, I think it should behave pretty much the same, Python of students.py. And indeed, we get the same sentences. But now my code is more robust against changes in this data. If I were to open this CSV file in Excel or Google Spreadsheets or Apple Numbers and for whatever reason change the columns around, maybe this is a file that you're sharing with someone else, and just because they decide to sort things differently left to right by moving the columns around, previously my code would have broken because I was assuming that name is always first and home is always second. But if I did this, be it manually in one of those programs or here, home comma name, and suppose I reversed all of this. The home comes first, followed by Harry. The borough, then by Ron. And then lastly, Malfoy Manor, then Draco. Notice that my file is now completely flipped. The first column's now the second, and the second's the first. But I took care to update the header of that file, the first row. Notice my Python code, I'm not going to touch it at all. I'm going to rerun Python of students.py and hit enter, and it still just works. And this, too, is an example of like coding defensively. Like, what if someone changes your CSV file, your data file? Ideally, that won't happen. But even if it does now, because I'm using a dictionary reader that's going to infer from that first row for me what the columns are called, my code just keeps working. And so it keeps getting, if you will, better and better. Any questions now on this approach?
Yeah, what is the importance of new line in CSV file?
What's the importance of the new line in the CSV file? It's partly a convention. In the world of text files, we humans have just been for decades in the habit of storing data line by line. It's visually convenient. It's just easy to extract from the file because you just look for the new lines. So the new line just separates some data from some other data. We could use any other symbol on the keyboard, but it's just common to hit enter to just move the data to the next line. Just a convention. Other questions?
It seems to be working fine if you just have name and home. I'm wondering what will happen if you want to put in more data. Say you wanted to add the house to both the name and the home.
Sure, if you wanted to add the house back. So if I go in here and add house last, and I go here and say Gryffindor for Harry, Gryffindor for Ron, and Slytherin for Draco. Now I have 3 columns, effectively, if you will. Home on the left, name in the middle, house on the right, each separated by commas with weird things like number 4, comma, privet drive, still quoted. Notice if I go back to students.py and I don't change the code at all and run Python of students.py, it still just works. And this is what's so powerful about a dictionary reader. It can change over time. It can have more and more columns. Your existing code is not going to break. Your code would break, would be much more fragile, so to speak, if you were making assumptions like the first column's always going to be name. The second column's always going to be house. Things will break fast if those assumptions break down. So not a problem in this case.
Okay, interesting. I think I have an idea. But first, I have to open and create I have to create a file. I'm gonna to call this file like scoregify scoregify.py scoregify.py, and this scoregify.py I'm gonna to write, okay, cd score. Oh, no, wait, I have to delete this file. Delete. Yes. Yeah, because I have to first I have to create a folder. This folder is score g5 score g5. Yeah, and in this folder I'm gonna to create a file, score g5 score g5 score g5 .py, and then I have this scoreify.py. I have to write. So I'm gonna to click control plus. Yes, control plus. Yeah. The thing that I have to write is, I think, import. I have to. I like the keyboard sound. It's like a relax. It's like a chill. It's chilling. So import import CSV. I think import CSV, and then I have to put main, obviously, def main, and in this main I'm gonna to put if yeah, I forget, I have to import exit sys. I have to import sys. Yeah, I have to import sys. So if sys dot arc b, if sys arc b is, if sys arc b, if lem if lem of sys arc b is 3, is equal 3. Okay, now is equal is 1, is 2, is minor than 2, is less than 2, is fewer than 2. If length of sys rb is less than 2, I have to put so you may ask what I have to do, what I'm doing right now. I have to make this. Look at this. This. Yes. Too few command line arguments. I have to code first this. So if I don't put any command line arguments, the nonce the announcement that I have to receive is this. The output that I have to receive is this. So I have to code that. So I'm coding that. So what is that? Length is the length. What is CSRB? CSRB is this. CSRB is the thing. Is this. Is the arguments like this. All of this, since that word, all of this is sysrb. So we can find 1, 2, 3, 4 words, 4 elements. So 4 elements in this list of sysrb. This is sysrb. So when I put len sysrb, it has to be if it is less than 2, I have to receive 2 return. No, sys exit. Yeah, this sys exit is a command in order to the program. This command does the program end, so the program closed. So sys exit close the program. So with announce, in the announce is to what? Too few command line arguments. Too few command line arguments. Too few command line arguments. Yeah, and that's it. That's all. That's that. Yeah. Yeah, too few command line arguments, and then elif len sys rb is greater than 2. No, greater than 1, 2, 3. I have to receive 3. Yes, greater 3. Greater than 3. Greater than 3, have to put sys that exit is too many command line arguments, and that's it. Yes. Yeah. So Control S, and then if elif, and then elif. No, else. So if the length is not less or greater, else just the program the program like to do. I have to do something. Yeah, that's the thing that I have to do. Yeah, but I'm gonna check it out if it works. How? Like this. Look at this. This is the terminal. So I'm gonna put CD because I have to looking for this direction, week 6, scorgify.py. So CD week 6. Yeah, you can see that the director changed. So cd Scourgify, and then yeah, Scourgify change the director change, and then I'm gonna to put Python Scourgify dot py. Yeah. So when I put this button enter, I have to receive too few command lines arguments. No, it doesn't work. Why it doesn't work is because I put this def main, yeah, but I didn't put I I explain I define the variable, but I have to put this main. So if I put this main, yeah, main, if I put this main, I'm gonna to receive this. The program is that is gonna to work, but else to do, it may show an error, problem. So I'm gonna to erase that. I'm gonna to put return no else print it works. Print it works. It works. Yeah, it works. So we're gonna to try it right now. So Python Scourgify .py and enter. Yeah, we receive too few command line arguments because we just put one command line argument. Okay, we just put one argument. But if I put Python Scourgify.py and I put one, yes, yeah, again I receive too few command line arguments. But if I put one and space 2 and space 3 and space 4 and space 5, it doesn't work. Oh, got it. If CSRB is okay, CSRB is not supported between instance of list and int. I don't understand why it doesn't work. Okay. Oh, got it. Yeah. Yeah, I have a. This is an error. Greater than 3 has to put out of the parentheses. Yeah. So, len is greater than 3. Yeah. So it was a full mistake. A silly mistake. Okay. I'm gonna to clean all of this. I'm gonna to. This is the terminal. Yeah. I have to change the direction. The direction is week 6. I have to change Scourgify. Py. No, Scourgify. And then Python Scourgify .py 1 2 3 4. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't save. I didn't update the code, so it appears the same error. It shows the same error that I had one last a few moments ago. So again, Okay, I'm gonna to clean all of this. Clean. No, clear. Yeah, clear. And again, yeah, it works. Too many command line arguments, and then I'm gonna to put just 1 and 2. It works. Yeah, it works. The program works. Yeah, if I put many command arguments, it appears this too many command line arguments. I put just 1 and 2, it works. Okay, so it works. It works. Yeah, yeah. The first important thing, it works. So I just have to make the another the another whole thing. I have to define another program. I'm gonna to erase this main because it's better put this if underscore name underscore is equal to I'm sorry, to underscore main underscore so main. Okay, I'm gonna to try it. Okay, yeah, it works. Yeah, it works. Yeah, it works. Okay, that's it. So if main is equal may run the program. If I put this, run the program. Run the program. Yeah. And else I have to think about it. I have to change that. Because now I have to receive those two command line arguments after before and after. So yeah, that's the point. All of this. Okay. I have to define if I have to define a program that reads and interpretate. Okay. Def CSV interpreter. CSV interpreter. Def CSV interpreter. Okay. And like as I def CSV interpreter, so sysrv okay, else def CSV interpreter. No, CSV interpreter. Yeah, CSV interpreter. No, but that no says. Okay, CSV interpreter sys rb sys rb sys rb1 no 1 sysrb1 and sysrb1 and 0. Yeah, two arguments, CSV interpreter. So CSV interpreter has to be two words, word 1 and word 2. Yeah, two words. Yes, CSC as sysrb1, sysrb2 interpreter, and then CSV writer has to receive. CSV writer has to receive sys point rb 0 and 1. No. Sys writer has to put CSV interpreter. Yeah, CSV writer. Yeah, to do. Yeah, and then def CSV writer. Yeah, and CSV writer just receive something, just receive something, and gonna to do something, and then return something like this, to do something and then return something. So yeah, return something, return something, 1, something 2. Yeah, return something. Yes, that's the thing that I have to do. CSV interpreter and CSV writer. Maybe it could be just one program. Yeah, like I do the CSV interpreter, and maybe would be just one program. Yes. Yeah, maybe one program would be great. Something for 1 1 1 1 2. Okay, word return something. CSV interpreter. Yeah, it's better. Okay, got it. Yeah, but the thing is, word 1 and word 2 as after and before, right? After CSV and before CSV. After CSV, before CSV, before after CSV after CSV, before CSV, and then yeah, something is a list. So, something list, something, something, something. I don't know what I'm doing actually. I'm just playing. We changed the name. Yeah. Got it. So we are gonna to follow the video. So we just left 5 minutes. It just left 5 minutes. So have to hurry up. We have to hurry up. So yeah.
Well, let me propose that besides reading CSVs, let's at least take a peek at how we might write a CSV too. If you're writing a program in which you want to store not just students' names, but maybe their homes as well in a file, how can we keep adding to this file? Let me go ahead and delete the contents of students.csv and just re-add a single simple row, name, comma, home, so as to anticipate inserting more names and homes into this file. And then let me go to students.py, and let me just start fresh so as to write out data this time. I'm still going to go ahead and import CSV. I'm going to go ahead now and prompt the user for their name. So input, quote unquote, what's your name, question mark. And I'm going to go ahead and prompt the user for their home. So home equals input, quote unquote, where's your home, question mark. Now I'm going to go ahead and open the file, but this time for writing instead of reading as follows. With open, quote unquote, students.csv. I'm going to open it in append mode so that I keep adding more and more students and homes to the file rather than just overwriting the entire file itself. And I'm going to use a variable name of file. I'm then going to go ahead and give myself a variable called writer, and I'm going to set it equal to the return value of another function in the CSV module called csv.writer. And that writer function takes as its sole argument the file variable there. Now I'm going to go ahead and just do this. I'm going to say writer.writeRow, and I'm going to pass into writeRow the line that I want to write to the file, specifically as a list. So I'm going to give this a list of name, comma, home, which of course are the contents of those variables. Now I'm going to go ahead and save the file. I'm going to go ahead and rerun Python of students.py, hit enter, and what's your name? Well, let me go ahead and type in Harry as my name, and number 4, comma, privet drive. Enter. Now notice that input itself did have a comma, and so if I go to my CSV file now, notice that it's automatically been quoted for me so that subsequent reads from this file don't confuse that comma with the actual comma between Harry and his home. Well, let me go ahead and run it a couple of more times. Let me go ahead and rerun Python of students.py. Let me go ahead and input this time Ron and his home as the borough. Let's go back to students.csv to see what it looks like. Now we see Ron, comma, the borough has been added automatically to the file. And let's do one more. Python of students.py, enter. Let's go ahead and give Draco's name and his home, which would be Malfoy Manor. Enter. And if we go back to students.csv, now we see that Draco is in the file itself. And the library took care of not only writing each of those rows per the function's name, it also handled the escaping, so to speak, of any strings that themselves contained a comma, like Harry's own home. Well, it turns out there's yet another way we could implement this same program without having to worry about precisely that order again and again and just passing in a list. It turns out if we're keeping track of what's the name and what's the home, we could use something like a dictionary to associate those keys with those values. So let me go ahead and back up and remove these students from the file, leaving only the header row again, name, comma, home. And let me go over to students.py. And this time, instead of using CSV writer, I'm going to go ahead and use csv.dictWriter, which is a dictionary writer that's going to open the file in much the same way, but rather than write a row as this list of name, comma, home, what I'm now going to do is follows. I'm going to first output an actual dictionary, the first key of which is name, colon, and then the value thereof is going to be the name that was typed in. And I'm going to pass in a key of home, quote unquote, the value of which, of course, is the home that was typed in. But with dict writer, I do need to give it a hint as to the order in which those columns are when writing it out, so that subsequently they could be read even if those orderings change. Let me go ahead and pass in field names, which is a second argument to dict writer, equals, and then a list of the actual columns that I know are in this file, which of course are name, comma, home. Those times in quotes, because that's indeed the string names of the columns, so to speak, that I intend to write to in that file. All right, now let me go ahead and go to my terminal window, run Python of students.py this time. I'll type in Harry's name again. I'll again type in number 4, comma, privet drive, enter. Let's now go back to students.csv, and voila, Harry's back in the file, and it's properly escaped or quoted. I'm sure then if we do this again with Ron and the Burrow, and let's go ahead and run it one third time with Draco and Malfoy Manor, enter. Let's go back to students.csv, and via this dictionary writer, we now have all 3 of those students as well. So whereas with CSV writer, the onus is on us to pass in a list of all of the values we want to put from left to right. With a dictionary writer, technically they could be in any order in the dictionary. In fact, I could just have correctly done this, passing in home followed by name, but it's a dictionary. And so the ordering in this case does not matter so long as the key is there and the value is there. And because I have passed in field names as the second argument to dict writer, it ensures that the library knows exactly which column contains name or home, respectively. Are there any questions now on dictionary reading, dictionary writing, or CSVs more generally?
Is there any specific situation for me to use single quotation or double quotation? Because after the print, we use single quotation to represent the key of the dictionary. But after the reading or writing, we use the double quotation.
It's a good question. In Python, you can generally use double quotes or you can use single quotes, and it doesn't matter. You should just be self-consistent so that stylistically your code looks the same all throughout. Sometimes, though, it is necessary to alternate. If you're already using double quotes, as I was earlier for a long F string, but inside that F string, I was interpolating the values of some variables using curly braces, and those variables were dictionaries. And in order to index into a dictionary, you use square brackets and then quotes. But if you're already using double quotes out here, you should generally use single quotes here or vice versa. But otherwise, I'm in the habit of using double quotes everywhere. Others are in the habit of using single quotes everywhere. It only matters sometimes if one might be confused for the other. Other questions on dictionary writing or reading?
Yeah, David. My question is, can we use multiple CSV files in any program?
Absolutely. You can use as many CSV files as you want, and it's just one of the formats that you can use to save data. Other questions on CSVs or file I/O?
Thanks for taking my question. So when you're reading from the file, you had the as a dictionary.
Well, time's up. So the homework, it has to be gone tomorrow. Thank you so much for the stay with me. Tarun Tomar, just for answer your question. I'm doing the week 6. This is the week 6 of Harvard, and then I'm completing. I'm trying to this. I'm trying to this homework that it has to works like you are watching the screen. Yeah, that's the Scoreify homework. That the thing is, I have to code a program that interpretate this database, and then write another file, just sorting this database. So That is like the homework calls clean. So clean is like a sorting uh, these words in columns. So that's the thing that I have to do right now. But I'm not gonna to do because the time's up. So tomorrow I'm gonna to start with this work, this homework. That is the infrastructure of the program, the code. That is the first lines of the code, but I have to write more, obviously, because it just that is just the structure of the code, and that's it. That's the thing that I have to do. And what is CSV? Oh, okay, CSV is like a, it's like a. Oh, CSV is a, it's a sort, it's a type of file, like it's like Excel. It's like Microsoft Excel. It's this is a CSV. Let me show you like how this is a CSV. An example of CSV. Yeah, it's a file that contains data like words in columns. In that columns are separated by a comma. Yeah, let me show a CSV file. CSV file is a file like let me see CSV file. CSV file, yeah. CSV file always has columns and rows. Okay, so has you can have yeah, like this is a CSV. It's like an Excel, like this is a CSV. So I have to make a program that interpretate a CSV file, read the information, the data, and then output another CSV file sorting the words in columns. Okay, in columns. Yeah. I hope be clear. Muy interesante contenido de hoy. Gracias por compartir este contenido. Gran trabajo. Oh, Ross. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose. Thank you, Rose. You are, you are so kind. Tarun, where are you from? Tarun, where are you from? I hope to be clear with this. Yeah. I have to go. I would like to. I would like to. I would like to stay with you guys and complete the program, but I have to do something. Oyasuni, si Rambo. Oyasuni, Oyasuni. Oh yes, I have to put the ending of this file. The ending is this ending. Yeah. Oyasumi and matane. Goodbye, goodbye, everyone, and thank you so much. Thank you for supporting me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Okay. Okay.